This is another situation on is Sykkuno actually a predator, where a concerned fan broke everything down and made a slight expose on Mugen as well. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. But I love seeing what the people are talking about. Let's get into it.
I'm still upset with you, but you didn't cheat on me. You can still talk to me and be like, make up for your actions. Don't get me wrong, because I always am there for second chances.
She was wrong.
That's crazy how Mal wants to act so disgusted with Sykkuno and say, I can't believe you would do that to your girlfriend, and then was still trying to fuck him. Like, that's crazy to me.
Wronged, but she was also very prepared. What Sykkuno did, the lying, the cheating, is inexcusable and has been condemned. Injustice, however, will always be injustice. Being wronged does not make every choice that follows righteous.
Absolutely. This is a great video so far. 100%. Just because somebody did one thing wrong doesn't make everything else that follows also absolutely despicable. You know what I mean? Like, if someone fucks up, you really need to make sure that you punish them properly. You know, sometimes people go way too far. Like, yes, Sykkuno cheated. Yes, he did. But like, also, like, I'm not going to allow people to call him a rapist just because he cheated, man. Like, honestly.
Let's set the record straight. The analysis of Himomao's conduct does not invalidate her story of being lied to. Sykkuno's girlfriend is the true victim in this situation. She has been—
I would say the only victims right now are Sykkuno's girlfriend and Sykkuno himself. Sykkuno for being called a rapist and the rest of his life, and the girlfriend for getting cheated on, obviously.
Been with him since
I am still waiting for Sykkuno and his girlfriend to talk about this.
21. Lived in the same house since—
because we don't even know if they were in an open relationship or not.
Since 2024, and was the last person to learn about his infidelity. Himomao and Elfie both pursued Sykkuno with the intention of forming a relationship. They were lied to, strung along, and that harm is real. From here on, I will analyze the concerning tells that were left unaddressed by Mugen in his video. The reason for doing this is because some things must be challenged, else they set a dangerous precedent. Context about a person—
I wouldn't consider you a victim if you were led on, but I would say that you were wronged, but I'm not going to call you a victim. I think being called a victim holds a certain weight, and that's like late game type shit. You know what I mean? Like, they were led on, yes, but I'm not going to call them a victim.
Does not disappear because they were wronged. Before the expose, before the first DM, before Sykkuno followed her on Valentine's Day, Himomao had already built a deliberate, highly curated public presence.
And I would also like to say, very important context, Himomao started in OnlyFans 2 weeks before making this expose, showing how flirty and slutty she was. I believe this was a business operation. I do. Hey, call me paranoid, but like, I've seen OnlyFans girls right before they attempt to expose a larger content creator, immediately make an OnlyFans, and traffic and revenue goes through the fucking roof. So in my opinion, hey boys, I'll say it, I think all of this was a business opportunity. Sorry, guys.
Twitter media feed is not incidental. It is her brand. Revealing photos, sexualized content, a carefully maintained aesthetic. This is what her audience and Sykkuno showed up for. The strategy is widely known and has a name.
Sykkuno did not show up for that. And you should really edit this out of the video. She approached Sykkuno. She showed up for Sykkuno. Sykkuno did not show up for that. And that's very important context.
Simp farming. This is not inherently wrong, but given this, Himomao is clearly someone who is aware of how male attention and desire works. She's built her kingdom on it. An important thing to note is that in August of 2025, Himomao had made a post admonishing parasocial DMs. She says, "Unfortunately, a small group of you guys have decided to treat my space as your personal invitation as my possible love interest, which I personally find utterly unacceptable. So hereby, I have decided to make it clear I do not want to and will absolutely never ever date one of my viewers."
So she already understands the power dynamic of that and why it's wrong. So how is she acting like she didn't know it now?
I think it is honestly something you should reconsider if you truly think it is okay to pry into your streamers' personal lives. The hypocrisy that is established here shows that one's words and one's thoughts do not always match. A good strategist knows which battles they can win. The expose begins with her stating that Sykkuno used to be a role model to her. However, she doesn't mention a single quality that she admired, only that he is a big content creator who knows she exists. This raises the question, what if there were other reasons for connection? The same day, two other creators, Mugen and Kyari, posted soon after. Not days later, just a single hour. Mugen was already in contact with Himomao.
It's obviously it was a coordinated hit piece, obviously. And that's because Mugen wants to have exclusivity on these big drops, and he wants other VTubers to coordinate obliterating somebody's lives over their opinions and false realities, and Mugen wants to be the first person to cover it before anybody else can do it, and drive so much traction to that narrative, it's hard to go against it. And that's the problem, right? Is because Mugen used to make good videos, but now he's become so egotistical, he's become so obsessed with this amount of content that he makes that he's willing to obliterate people's lives just for a couple clicks, and I think that that's awful. He's also a massive simp.
And the other women before anything went public. This public expose now starts to turn into a coordinated takedown, with everyone involved walking away with more reach than they started.
Oh my God. Hey, did I tell you or did I tell you? I told you this was a coordinated business plan. Everybody knows it. This is an incredible video.
With. So who fell to the first domino? You could say it was Sykkuno who followed her.
And by the way, this is a VTuber. I'm going to subscribe to you and I'm going to like your video. Listen, Roel, I understand you're part of the VTuber Twitter community. You probably hate my ass. I'm going to be real. I don't care. I think you're making a great video right now, and I hope you keep up the content creation space. It's very nice to have people giving accurate representations of things as they occur. And by the way, Roel, I think the more you look into me, the more that you'll realize that I'm actually a pretty good dude as well. But that would take a lot of work. Anyways, back to it.
Twitter after liking an explicit post on Valentine's Day. But a guy
what's the point of dating? Oh, getting free rape accusations. It's awesome.
Following an attractive girl on social media is not abnormal and usually does not lead to anything. However, Himomal capitalizes on the opportunity. She knows what Sykkuno wants and she initiates the game. She begins flirting with a clear intent in mind. Starting off by mentioning a Valentine's date is a clear sign of romantic interest. The conversation then quickly escalates into gaming, which is a passion of Sykkuno's and a relatable topic to build rapport. Talk of gaming leads to a desire to play games together, where she heavily pushes to make it happen and offer to connect on Discord multiple times. Things are not as they appear. Soon after connecting on Twitter, they proceed to add each other on Discord to have their first call. This is when a narrative begins to form. What is written inside the document tells a very different story when taken out of context.
Yeah, you should also really notice how hard Mugen is trying to push a narrative by bolding things that weren't bolded.
Break it down. We begin with the quote.
I would not be surprised if Mugen helped write this document. I would probably, you know what? I would bet $10,000 that Mugen helped write this document. And if I'm wrong, I will donate $10,000 to victims of sexual violence. I am 10,000% positive Mugen helped write this. And I guarantee you he even edited this and coordinated this before it came out. I guarantee that.
Things started out innocently enough with him inquiring about fun things to do.
Because the document is written how Mugen talks.
Near where I live. The intention to include this section is misleading and would cause readers to believe that Sykkuno is the first person to inquire and care about an IRL meetup. But from the very first message, Himomal planted the idea of a date with Sykkuno. It is completely reasonable for Sykkuno to ask about fun date spots or activities near her. She then tries to sway our perception of the situation further when she writes, in this 2-hour Discord gaming call, the same day as our first conversation, Sykkuno made plans to meet me IRL. It was set to be the same weekend as Tectone 2026. Since he was flying over anyways to attend TwitchCon EU, going to the aquarium would be our first date. Suppose you get a DM with clear interest, followed by the desire to set up a date with obvious flirting mixed into the conversation. Then finding a section in an expose hinting you are moving too fast, despite the fact that they introduced the idea of a date. From here, it is starting to feel
it was their idea, but now that Sykkuno's reciprocated, that was awful to do. Such ridiculously bad faith framing. This is so manipulative, it's insane.
Like Himomal is trying to guide her thoughts towards a certain conclusion with the flow of evidence she provides. Following this section, she then talks about Sykkuno wanting to move in together with her and get a pet. However, taking a look at the screenshots she provides and the flow of the conversation, Himomal clearly initiated the idea of her going to meet Sykkuno in person at his place.
True. By the way, for anybody who thinks that I'm only hopping on board the correcting Mugen's horrific misinformation, I want y'all to look at this. So I react, ladies and gentlemen, to Mugen's video for an hour and a half to the guy who roached out.
Behind this, but seeing
I react to Mugen's video on Pirate Software, and I had to call him out at least 30 times, correcting the record, because Mugen attempts to talk about things that he knows nothing about with sheer authority. He's a horrific narrator. He is an unreliable narrator 100% through and through. And I'm letting you all know, nobody was calling that out before me. And then he f***ed me over. And I'm pretty sure the reason why he f***ed me over is because I was so critical of his video on pirate software. Because nobody was saying this shit before me, and that's a fact, and that's why that video got so many dislikes. It's because I was saying repeatedly, Mugen has no idea what the fuck he's talking about here. And if you don't believe me, watch the video. I call him out at least 30 times. I call him out at least 30 times. Check it for yourself if you think I'm a liar.
Sykkuno response is based on the precedent that she sets of wanting to stay over. She then pulls back by saying, "I can't stay forever," to which Sykkuno readily backs off. Once again, including this piece of evidence leads someone who hasn't fully read the screenshots to believe that Sykkuno is the one manipulating when she is leading the conversation. The age of desire. First off, I want to point out that this title hints at the fact that both parties have something they want from each other. Next topic is going to be on the age gap between the two, hence the wordplay.
I also learned.
Hey, listen, man. If they're both above 18, who cares? Sorry. If they're both above 18, who cares? I don't care. You can call it weird. You cannot call him a rapist or a pedophile if they're both above 18. I do not care. Especially if the younger person is the one who initiated it. If a 19-year-old woman approaches a 34-year-old man and says, "Let's fall," I am not insulting that man. Absolutely not.
That there is a 15-year age gap between us.
And he is trying so hard to paint the narrative immediately that he's a predator. It's insane. He knows what he's doing with that word predator. He knows.
Right, so look, I personally spoke to the victim about this. I asked, like, would that usually have been like a red flag or a turnoff? She said yes. But the thing is, this is Sykkuno we're talking about here, right? So she made an...
Pause. Don't act like you don't know how old he is when you can literally Google online. This is public information, okay? You can Google this. She knew that, and she is the one who engaged with it.
Exception.
I wonder what color of tinted glass someone must look through in order to ignore a red flag with a stranger. Mugen states clearly in his video that after a conversation with Hemomal, she reveals that she's okay with a 15-year age gap because it was Sykkuno, who is still a stranger to her as she found out this information on the very first day. So now within her expose, she writes, "We had known each other for barely a few days and this 34..."
There it goes again. Yep. Dude, the framing on this is so manipulative. It is fucking crazy. This 34-year-old man was already expressing moving in together to live in the same house. Bro, you in the first DM asked to fuck him dry. So what are we talking about here?
Year-old man was already expressing interest in moving together to live in the same house. Okay, I think it's about time to bring back the red flags.
Yep. Go ahead.
The oldest trick in the book. A week and a half into talking, things escalate to the next level. Hemomal begins sending suggestive audio recordings and videos. An important thing to note here is that there is no screenshot evidence of Sykkuno ever asking for these. These seem to be unprompted. The pattern that shows with these screenshots is fairly normal. A girl who is interested in a guy sending sexualized material and asking for affirmation. However, the confidence and the comfortability she has in leading into this direction makes it hard to believe that she is the one being manipulated to do this. As she's sending these
You're saying, "Hey, I sent you that audio recording. Did you like it? I really hope that you came to it." Like, bro, this is such an obvious plan to show your OnlyFans. It's ridiculous.
Prompted. Within the same screenshots, Hemomal also mentions that he'd always act flustered and inexperienced, keeping up the
Mal equals malicious. True. Big true.
illusion of his on-stream innocent persona. Now, having a persona is normal and what everybody does to protect themselves. You cannot expect a persona built over an entire career to dissolve in 2 weeks. The Empress's new clothes. On the same day that Hemomal sends Sykkuno suggestive content, he asks for a PayPal to send her money. From the screenshots, we can see that the timeline follows. On February 28th, at 1:19, Sykkuno asks for her PayPal. A minute later, Hemomal says, "I need to update my email from my PayPal because it's my old name from before I rebranded." Interestingly enough, 48 minutes later, she asks him if he likes the audio she sent. Quite a coincidental timeline. Sykkuno has a pattern of sending money to girls he is interested in. This has an obvious negative connotation in our current society, but individuals...
Dude, it's a bummer what happened to his Shin. I should really look at... I've never... Like, I don't know whether he did it or not. I don't know. All I know is I used to really enjoy Shin's top lane commentary. That shit was good. I don't know what he did. I don't know whether he was innocent or whether he was guilty, but I definitely want to look into it more.
Also have full agency over whether they want to accept the money or not. In the expose, she disclaims,
Women have no power if men don't give it to them. Stop paying OnlyFans. That was honestly true.
To reiterate that I've never asked him for money. However, she still accepts everything. To them,
Bro, you didn't ask for money specifically, but when a woman asks a wealthy man that's interested in him, oh man, I really want to play Resident Evil 9, but I'm just too poor to afford it. Oh man. You think a guy's not going to get that for you? Shut up.
and bring it up in an expose to play into the negative societal view of men is quite disingenuous. Owning a brand that sells lewd content to men also creates quite the irony. The three-body problem, a chaotic era of parallel contact. A section in the document under the title of A Calculated Pattern of Love Bombing and Manipulation says that after speaking to Alfie a few days ago, we were able to corroborate our experiences with Sykkuno and learn that we were both victims of his. Cheating is a serious stain on society and should be condemned. The question we are trying to answer here is, was manipulation and love bombing involved? Today I bring on an expert psychologist to give her analysis. She says,
Sure, you didn't lead Alfie on. Alfie acknowledges that you didn't lead her on, right? Because I've talked to Alfie.
okay, well there's the answer. Now love bombing
Well, what happened? I thought he manipulated you. I thought he led everybody on. What happened? Oh, very, very strange how the story changes.
is a term that is too loosely used. It describes a cycle of abuse where the abuser intentionally creates moments of highs and lows. From the interactions we've seen in these screenshots with Alfie, Sykkuno purely creates moments of highs for Alfie. This can be viewed as almost transactional in nature. What it means to be a victim. Real pain has no platform. The heart goes quiet, and still the typhoon rages. There's not much to say regarding Sykkuno's girlfriend. Without her recounting of the situation, there is no story to tell. She needs time to process, time to heal, time to find her own voice.
Dude, I can't wait for the Sykkuno's girlfriend doc to drop. That's gonna be fucking awesome. I literally can't wait.
Being thrown amidst the chaos is the last thing she would have wanted. It's natural for embers of passion to fade, leaving only bitter remains. And I hope she can find moments of bliss that can push her through it all. Now let's break the illusion. After hearing about Sykkuno's cheating and being told they would probably never speak again, Himomel let out an audible laugh and followed up with offering Sykkuno a second chance. There's irony in calling out a cheater for cheating while giving a cheater a second chance.
I'm still upset with you, but you didn't cheat on me. You can still talk to me
There
and
it is.
be, like, make up for your actions. Don't get me wrong, because I always am there for second chances. But I never will forgive you for cheating on her.
So
And by the way, the important context of that call is Mal recorded that conversation with the idea in mind that she was about to ruin Sykkuno's life if she did not get what she wanted. And I feel like that context for the recording of that call, because that wasn't somebody else who overheard the conversation. That was Mal entering into the conversation to trap Sykkuno into a private convo that he thought was one-on-one that she recorded with the idea in mind to make public, to make even more traction go to her OnlyFans. And everybody knows it, or at least they should if they were paying attention.
it seems that if Sykkuno tries hard enough, she will forgive him and give him a second chance. A similar experience happened in the past with a VTuber called Jizuke VT. It is hard to believe when she says that she'll give Sykkuno another chance when she was a victim of cheating in the past. Within the same call with Sykkuno, Himomel states quite strongly that lying is something that she does not tolerate.
Lying, especially, is like a big thing I do not tolerate.
But it is quite contradictory to her actions, as within the document, she clearly states, Alfie and I weren't friends until I found out that he was cheating on his girlfriend. This is when we both got in contact with each other and shared our stories. She deserves the world. And in the conversation she has with Sykkuno, she says,
Because, sure, you didn't lead Alfie on. Alfie acknowledges that you didn't lead her on, right? Because I've talked to Alfie. I'm friends with her. I've been friends with her before I even met you.
this is quite
Oh man, oh man. Man, oh man, oh man. Not really a good look when your ass is caught in 8K, brother man. Dude, and Mugen allowed this shit to post and go live. That's what's insane. What a terrible person. Guys, I'm telling you, these women will do whatever the they can in order to get their OnlyFans to pop off. They will. And that's all this was to them, was a business opportunity. None of these women were hurt. Besides Sykkuno's girlfriend. Everybody else just wanted to hop on in on the gravy train. Everybody knows it.
the malicious thing to lie about within her expose. Because knowing that you can lie about something so important to the story, I'm not gonna say, but let a homie know in the comments. And now I'm about to show you quite the concerning conversation between Himomal and Vanessa in 2025. Himomal approaches Vanessa, asking her when she last talked to Jizuke, approaching this as a friend of his because he's digging himself into a hole. She insists to know when the last time they talked was. Himomal says that he cheated on multiple women and took their money using them and then claiming he has no money, and that he is also lying to Vanessa. She also states that at some point they were dating, but that ended and they still continue to be friends with benefits. It's then revealed that they both know that he talks with a girl called Umari. So knowing this information, knowing that he's talking with another girl, Mal says that they're confronting Gio in a call about sleeping with Vanessa while pursuing Umari. And she says, I mean, at least get some. She continuously asks for when the last time they talked was, and Vanessa replies, we literally talked and sleep called yesterday, to which Mal gets really excited and asks for a screenshot of that, presumably to use in a document to cancel Jizuke. Vanessa then says that, I mean, Umari still thinks she has monogamy with him. Mal then replies, stop, I'm laughing my ass off right now. Vanessa says, so I'm like, whatever, I'm not the one getting cucked. Mal says, please show. Holy shit, he embarrassed himself so hard then. Vanessa then replies, man, can we at least wait till I get some. Then Mal continuously asks for screenshots, and it seems like she insinuates that after she ruins him with said screenshots, he will fall back to Vanessa. Mal states at the beginning,
Jesus, what the fuck? How did I miss this whole conversation? This is horrible.
That she is his friend. Yeah, I also like to gather evidence of my friend's cheating and then laugh about it with the person he's cheating with. Of course,
What
it makes
the
sense now. Cheating
fuck?
only matters when it happens to yourself. Anyways, there's a bunch more stuff that came out after I started working on this, but honestly, I don't think you need any more information to formulate your own conclusion about this matter. Moving forward. Now, the reason and the most important thing with this incident is lesser or greater.
Hey guys, it's not all women, but it's always women. Holy f, there are so many manipulative, lying whores, it's f***ing insane, who can't get what they want, so then they want to call you a rapist for the rest of their life.
Injustice is all the same. Sykkuno's actions must be condemned. That has been stated clearly from the start. All the people harmed by the actions of Sykkuno have all the right to admonish him for these actions. This, however, does not grant the privilege to enact injustice against him. This video is not to discredit her story of being lied to. Please make your own judgment on the situation, and I hope this organized information helps you do so. Thank you for watching and stay accountable.
Bro, what a amazing video. What a amazing video. Absolutely W. That guy just started this channel like 2 days ago. That was amazing. Even if that guy doesn't like me, go support his channel. Love y'all, appreciate y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.